Hey guys, welcome back. I hope everybody is doing well. Today I'm going to show you how I make my watercolor paint binder. So this binder is to use along with your artist pigments or mica powders or old eyeshadow powders, whatever you want to make your watercolor paint out of. This is just one recipe. There's a ton of recipes out there. I've been using this for a little while and it's been working well, so I'm just going to show you what I use. Hello, this is Editing Jana, just jumping in for a sec. I just wanted to give you a heads up about the timing on this project. Although putting it together is pretty fast, it does take a day for the whole binder to meld together, so you put it in the fridge overnight. So I just wanted to let you manage your expectations on when this would be ready before you start the project. Okay, thanks, bye. So here are the ingredients and equipment you're going to need to make your watercolor paint binder. So the most important thing you're going to need is the Acacia Senegal or gum arabic powder. You can get it in big chunks of gum arabic crystals, but they're really hard to work with, so I tend to go with the really finely ground powder. And Acacia Senegal is exactly the same as gum arabic, as long as it's 100% powder. It's milled really finely, so it dissolves, pretty well. So I just go with this guy. Also, you want to make sure you choose one that is light in color. You can get other ones that are a lot darker, and they do tend to change the color of your final paint a little bit. It doesn't make a huge difference, but I found, using the whiter powder ones works a little bit better. You are also going to need distilled water. You don't want to just use tap water because it has a bunch of different things in it. The distilled water is nice and pure, and it just helps keep your paint really pure. Then you want to use vegetable glycerin and honey. So this is, I think, is a plasticizer, and this is a humectant. So you'll find tons of different recipes on the internet for watercolor binders. Some use both of these, neither of these, one of these. I like using both. So you can follow my recipe. If you don't like it, you can kind of adjust this and see how you want to make your binder. If you add too much glycerin, sometimes the paint can be a little shiny. So if you're having that problem, you may want to reduce the glycerin that you use, but I find this recipe is pretty balanced. You're going to need clove oil as a preservative. This is kind of an optional thing. It also smells really nice, and I just put a couple of drops in the binder. Whether you use this or not, I've made it without it, and it seems to last fine as well, but it just has a really nice smell and it helps preserve it. You're also going to need 2 little containers, one to measure your acacia powder or your gum arabic, and another one to mix in. It's going to be filled up to about here when we're done, so you can use a smaller one. I just find a bigger one easier to mix. Oh, and you're going to need a kitchen scale that weighs in grams and a little stirring stick, preferably non-porous, so like a stainless steel or a plastic, so that you can wash them. And I think that's it for the equipment ingredients. Let's get on to making it. Okay, so first of all, we're going to grab our kitchen scale and measure out 45 grams of distilled water. Once we've measured that out, we're either going to pop it in the microwave or heat it up some other way to just before boiling. It doesn't have to be boiling, but you want it warm enough to dissolve the glycerin, the honey, and the acacia powder. So when you've heated it up in the microwave, you're going to put it back on the scale and you're going to measure out around 10 grams of glycerin. Then just reset your scale and add in 5 grams of honey. Then we're going to use our little mixing stick to dissolve both of those into the warm water. So just keep stirring till it's all dissolved. Then we're going to grab our acacia powder or gum arabic, and we're going to switch out this honey glycerin water container with a clean one, just so that we can measure out the powder, and if we make a mistake, then we can easily adjust the measurement. And you want to measure 25 grams. Alright, so once we've measured out our acacia fiber, We're then going to scoop it in. I like to do just a little bit at a time, so maybe split it into 3, pour in about a third of it, mix it up a little bit, then another third and mix it up a little bit. You're going to notice that it doesn't really dissolve. It's super goopy and lumpy. Don't stress about it. It's kind of a time thing. We're going to have to wait for a little bit while the water and glycerin and honey penetrate the acacia fiber and dissolve it. So just do your best, sort of mix it all in, scrape it off the sides, make sure it's all coated in the water solution, and then we're just going to have to leave it and let it dissolve and homogenize together. Okay, after you've done your best at trying to mix it all together, just leave it alone and let it sit for about 30 minutes, and that will help break down the acacia fiber into the liquid a little better. And as you can see, after 30 minutes, it's still sort of really creamy and bubbly, not transparent yet. But at this stage, we're going to add about 2 drops of clove oil just to help with preservation. Okay, so this is about an hour later. I just left it on the bench and you can see it's dissolved a lot more. There's still a bunch of bubbles on there, and there's a couple of little lumps like this that I'm just trying to work out. But for the most part, all the lumpiness is gone, and that little one will dissolve too. Also, the bubbles on the top are going to dissipate a lot more. So you could just pop this in the fridge now and leave it overnight. And in the morning it should be a lot clearer, and also those bubbles on the top should have disappeared. Okay, so this is what it looks like after a night in the fridge. As you can see, it's not really clear, and it doesn't really go clear, but you can see that it's not really that milky cloudy color anymore. And a lot of the foaminess on the top is gone. There's some bubbles around the edge, but that's totally fine, and it is ready to use. Okay, so hopefully that was an easy to follow little tutorial for you guys. As far as how long it lasts, I would say 2 to 3 months in the fridge. The honey that we put in there and the clove oil should help preserve the binder as well as your final paints. So I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. I will try and make another video about using this binder in maybe a mica paint or some artist pigment paints. So yeah, look out for those coming up soon. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!